In the future, everyone will be functioning as soul-infused personalities. Life will not be filled with fighting and murder and emotional upsets as it is today, but it will not be boring either. Countries will keep their identity as far as customs, dress, and language, although all people will know the universal communication language. Countries will hold national fairs, so to speak, to display their own customs and crafts. These will be the highlights of tourism each year and will be looked forward to avidly. The schools of the future will be dedicated to the expression of the soul through the arts, leading to a totally synthesized person, balanced, intelligent, and joyful, and living their lives by the golden rule, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. The school system will be overhauled financially. This will be done in 2 stages. The first one will be the voucher system. The schools will be run just like big businesses and compete with each other. They will have a recruiter or salesperson selling the value and merits of each particular school to the parents. The parents will receive a subsidy voucher that is only redeemable in the school system for the education of their children. The second method of funding is called the education seed system and will come a little further into the future. This will come from the central government of all countries, putting aside an education seed for every child as it is born. This seed is added to each year on the child's birthday as a government stipend. The money is kept in a bank account for each child. This seed money will be allowed to be invested by those in the bank and the school district of the seed. When or if the child moves, his seed follows him. Great changes will take place in our penal systems. They will be called healing houses instead of prisons, and wrongdoers will be re-educated before being allowed back into society. This reform will be based on a 12-step program for criminals as follows. First step, subliminal tapes to help them develop a conscience. Second step, individual lessons to develop feelings of self-worth. Third step, creativity assignments to earn special privileges. Fourth step, reading and writing assignments about good and bad traits of famous people. Fifth step, small class lessons started with others in comparison of traits. Sixth step, bonus of special videotape they can relate to as far as their own traits. Seventh step, larger group discussion sessions with others of similar backgrounds. Eighth step, controlling actions and reactions on a limited freedom weekend. Ninth step, martial arts and creative arts training to learn control of actions. 10th step, classes in reincarnation, karma, and dreams, taught along with other spiritual concepts. 11th step, 3-month probationary period in farm-ranch environment. And the 12th step, job training in 8 months probation in employment and then re-enter society. Along with these new systems of education and restructuring our penal system, I see new methods of government along with the world government. The party system in our country will be replaced with a system of platforms that one must progress up through from the bottom to the top. This way, no one will be at the top if he has not climbed all the rungs of the ladder. It will be mandatory for any that wish to serve in government. Those graduating from the top platform will be those who are voted on for the presidency of our country. Similar to student teaching, while they are on the lower platforms, they will serve terms in the governing bodies, of which there will be 5 instead of 2 like we have now, our Senate and House. Our president will serve as an example of a synthesized man whose goal is the brotherhood of all men. For this reason, he will work closely with world systems whose duties will include controlling immigration and imports to world conferences on education and medicine and so on. The world system's task will be to always see the overview for the entire world. For instance, how some action in Lincoln, Nebraska will affect people in Spain. In the future, the Social Security system will not resemble today's system at all. People will serve as their own Social Security system. It will be based on cash withdrawals put into personal accounts. The company will make a group pool each month into investments. It will be each individual's own decision as to whether to enter this investment pool each month and for what amount. Each person will have absolute control over his or her own money pool to a certain extent. They can then determine how much they want to leave as a safety net and how much they wish to enter the investment pool with. As a person leaves one place of employment and joins another, their pool does not follow them. It is placed in a frozen asset account at a bank determined by the employer and cannot be touched until that person is a certain age, or in the case of death, the spouse will be allotted a certain percentage and the rest will be for the children. This frozen pool does not earn interest due to the fact that there will be no maintenance upkeep on the funds. These funds will be in special underground vaults called asset vaults. At the time of a person's retirement, the money from all frozen asset accounts where this person has worked over their lifetime is drawn together into one frozen benefit account and dispersed on a prorated monthly income amount, depending on the person's age and life expectancy. In cities, a panel of judges will have 12 people serving on it for terms of 12 months. It will be a duty that each must take his turn at doing when his name comes up, similar to our jury system now. These 12 will have one new member added and one old eliminated each month, so there will be no time when all members will be new. There will be 12 departments as follows: transportation, environmental control, energy resources, education halls, city services, agriculture, animal control, the banking system, building control, world relations, industrial regulation, and health control. In the future, the recycling of all products will be of the utmost importance. Our planet will be thought of as a spaceship, and nothing will be allowed to be buried in the ground or dumped into rivers or emitted into the atmosphere. Travel in the future will be noiseless. There will still be individual cars and planes, but the mode of moving them will be entirely different. Planes will be chartered by computer, much as rocket flights are done today. Cars, which will be lightweight and have no motors, will travel on a system of conveyor belts all programmed by computer. People will get on moving walkways with a fast lane and a slow lane. Ships will be totally different in their function in the future. They will be as space stations in the oceans for the harvesting of food from the sea. All cities will have a terrific transportation system. Trains will run in cars of 12 every 12 minutes. There will be elevated and sub-level tracks that each station stop will have its own musical tone that must be sounded for the train to stop automatically. The sewer system of the cities will be a marvelous makeup of innovative ideas. Most garbage and waste will be disintegrated with a musical tone. The water networks throughout the city will be activated at certain times of day for certain sections of the city by the sounding of a musical tone, controlled, of course, automatically by a clock. There will be restaurants, theaters, museums, art galleries, and so on. There will be no hospitals as such, only rest and relaxation homes. There will be hotels, but not as they are today. They will be individualized compartments totally run by computers. They will be in one building, but not the huge complexes they are now. There will be salons relating to beauty care and personal needs. Jewelry will be much in style, as will elaborate hair designs. Newspapers, books, and magazines, the media, in the future, will be mostly computerized, but there will still be libraries. These will be constantly updated. Television will be much more advanced. There will be entertainment programs of a very high order, educational and entertaining, and broadcast live, but most television will be stored on tapes. This will be an electronic library, but readily available in the home by pushing a button. This is how the newspaper and magazine articles will be read. The stores of the future will be totally different from what we have now. All will be computerized. There will be very few workers that are needed because orders will be taken by computers and filled by them. Clothing will also be ordered custom-made the same way. The same stores will sell all products from cars to spices for cooking. There will not be the variety we have now. There will be malls lined with specialty shops where one may purchase gift items. Clothing in the future will be made of fabric not imaginable now. It will be strong and lightweight, with the vibration to match its wearer and a color chosen for the way each individual feels that particular day. The material used for clothing will be completely recyclable, so when one outgrows an item or tires of it, it will be recycled. As far as family life, marriage will be closely monitored because this is the area where so much stress starts. There will be rest and relaxation stations for partners If their monthly checkup shows signs of stress, their prescription will be so many days at an R&R home. Animals such as dogs and cats have had the whole point of their existence taken from them, and for the most part it has not been replaced with anything else. Animals can become more aware, more trained. They can progress in evolution in this respect. Now that their occupation, if you will, has been taken from them because we feed them, they do not have to worry and occupy all their time with what they are going to eat. They could be attending schools and being trained to take a proper and fitting place in the Creator's world. Some of them do reach this point due to their owner's awareness, but most of them are ignored. There should be strict birth control for animals with super training for the ones that are born, so that the quality of animals improves, not the quantity. Animals in the future will have elevated positions from now. They will be highly trained and used in the halls of training and learning as teacher aides and playground guides. They will also be used as message and errand runners in certain occupations. Birth control of animals will be mandatory. There will also be more animal psychologists. Owners and pets will be matched by their musical tones and colors, and pets will have exercise programs and medical checkups in R&R homes, even as their owners have. Their food will be as carefully controlled as that of their owners, only necessarily of a different variety. The human body will be a thing of perfection as to bodily functions. People will become taller, and obesity will be a thing of the past. Much work and experimentation in the nutritional field will take place before this can be. Computers will give a readout on each person's own nutritional needs for that particular day. The computer will then tell them what foods they need to supply their bodies. Recreation will be very different and will be obligatory. All recreation will be geared to relieving stress. I see a country where all building and lighting and transportation is done with solar power. This will eliminate the pollution of the earth. The air will be clean. People's health will improve. Power companies will no longer control the world. Many spiritual advances will then be able to be made. These advances will be combined with many others that will come about because of the one step forward of a new method of solar energy. And all people will be able to have affordable homes and food and time to enjoy nature and art in all its many forms. Cities will become clean, oceans will become clean, and be able to produce food for humanity. The homes for people to live in will be unlike any imagined today. Housing will be a thing of perfect beauty, and everything in them will work in harmony. People will take a computer readout each morning of the physical plant of the household. All aspects of the physical workings of a home, the water supply, and energy to heat and cool, will be done effortlessly through natural means, not just solar, but much more advanced means. Computers will also tell us which foods we have on hand and which will need to be restocked. Each home will have a track running into it for deliveries of small grocery items, which will automatically be ordered and delivered and charged by computers. Plants and flowers will be an important part of the physical plants in the homes and buildings. They will be utilized for the heating, cooling, water, and waste systems. These will be self-regulating by combining the plants and flowers with musical tones and colored lights. These will be blended with the tones and colors of the occupants of the home, bringing all into harmony. The intermixing of all these will be the source of energy for the running of a home. This machinery will be small musical motors programmed by the use of screens with the tones and colors of the people occupying the house. The screens will necessarily need to be reprogrammed when occupancy changes. Larger models of these musical motors will be used to activate the city's water and sewer systems. There are some new ideas about health care for everyone in our country. There are many good ideas out there, but politics are preventing most people from seeing the logic behind some of the plans. The best plan to date is the following one that would be for all areas of the government, not just federal, to subsidize all medical care and not just that of those on Medicare. The following is a new 7-point plan. The government can act in the manner of an insurance company, with those still working paying a set amount for this insurance, equal for everyone. The same amount that is taken from Social Security checks for Medicare will be what each person in the country pays. There will be a set amount allowed for each service, and it will be standard across the country. If the practitioner complies with this, he will be guaranteed 75% of his charges from the government, with the patient picking up the rest. There will be bonuses given to individuals who have no illness for certain periods of time by releasing them from their obligation to pay for a period of time, even though they will still be covered. There will also be incentives for preventative medicine through exercise equipment at discounted prices for those who stay well for certain periods. There will also be substantial reimbursement for anyone who comes up with a new method of treatment or new ideas on preventative health care. The emphasis will be on self-responsibility. This will begin to take the power away from the medical profession, which is what needs to be done. Medical schools will be required to admit a standard amount of students to the medical college, a certain amount according to their overall enrollment. This will put more doctors out there, which will also help the situation. By controlling the amount of students allowed to enter medical school, they control the prices that doctors can charge. Do you see? This is one very important beginning point. At the present, the demand exceeds the supply. This must be brought into balance.